Hi everybody, welcome to the Steckline Report. Well, I got to tell you, officially the number of farm loans is almost too minuscule to matter when it comes to people in trouble. But boy, the bankers are raising some red flags. Stand by, I want to talk about that in a minute.
Every father would like to have their son farm with them and grandson and continue to farm. It's kind of a legacy, I guess. And then my dad was a farmer, and then of course then I am and my son. So actually Jackson, would be the fifth generation from my grandfather. It's going to be key for us to have American Ag Credit. It's a long-term partnership with them is what it is.
Well, folks, we don't have a lot of people in trouble with their loans right now in the world of agriculture, but I got to tell you, the people in the banking industry are watching it pretty closely, and I can understand why. With the prices the way they've dived into the tank the last several months, it doesn't surprise us at all. Farm Service Agency's federally guaranteed operating loans have jumped 34%. Ownership loans more than 20% in the last year. And that's a sign, ag lenders say, that they're shuffling some of their riskier loans to the government. Only 1.3% of agricultural loans in the Kansas City Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation 7-state territory remain past due at the moment. That's 1.3%. But as they get a little bit nervous there, they say the next 6 months will be the tale to tell. And anyway, everyone's cash flowed. When corn was $7, soybeans at $13.50, they weren't worried too much about things. But right now, perhaps better indicator of potential trouble is that banks surveyed by the Kansas City Federal Reserve in the third quarter have placed more than 10% of their farm loans on internal watch lists, and that's not the greatest thing in the world. Those are loans that have not yet been classified, but they could end up the year with carryover debts, not making their payments, or some other issues. And the bankers are saying, hey, if any of you feel that your loans might go into that category at all this year or next, come see us. And I think that's probably prudent understandings of the banking situation today. If you've got any kind of problems making your payments, probably the earlier you talk to them, the better off you're going to be. Well, if there's any question about the Renewable Fuels Standards Act and what it means to the rural economy, most everybody is saying, wait a few weeks when we find out what the EPA is expected to announce when they come out with their final volumes for the next 3 years. Everybody hopes it's within the range of people's guesses. Everybody knows it's going to be down some, but let's hope it's not down more than what the guesses are, because that will affect markets. Almost everybody agrees to that. The less fuels that we use, the less corn we use, and that means the more we've got left around, and we've got plenty of that right now too. So the announcement coming from RFS is going to be so interesting, and EPA we'll keep our eyes tuned to that thing pretty quickly. By the way, Subway says they're planning to switch to meat raised without antibiotics over the next several years. That comes after advocacy groups are calling for the change, with the coalition planning to deliver petitions to Subway's headquarters and have done so already. The sandwich chain says it would start switching to chicken raised without antibiotics sometime in maybe March of 2016. It'll make changes to turkey starting sometime next year. And as far as beef is concerned and other meat products, they want to switch to those without antibiotics as well. Probably take a year or two to get that done. Chipotle and Panera already say they serve meat raised without antibiotics. McDonald's says that it'll make the switch for its chicken. Subway, of course, the largest chain in the U.S., 27,000 stores, sending a signal to all of us in agriculture that raise livestock that we probably ought to be aware of this. I don't think it's going to go away. Looks to me like it's growing. And we'll see you on the next Steckline Report.